This video has words that start with AF. Affirm means confirm or guarantee. Either you're confirming publicly or you're emotionally supporting or encouraging. For example, the referendum affirmed the Republic's right to speech. Here, affirmed is confirmed. The referendum confirmed the Republic's right to speech. Or we can say he noted in confirmation, he noted in affirmation, which means he noted in confirmation. Or he affirmed the country's commitment to peace. He confirmed the country's commitment to peace. And the next sense of confirm is one for sure. The next sense is you're emotionally supporting or encouraging. The lack of one or both parents' affirmation leaves some child in some emotionally crippled here. Lack of one or more parents affirmation is their emotional support, and emotional support also means there are 5 common ways parents fail to affirm their children. Here affirm is they fail to emotionally support their children. In law, make a formal declaration rather than taking an oath. He refused to take the oath but chose to affirm, simply chose to affirm on being admitted to the policy. Here affirm means, for example, when the government was made the prime minister, he did not take an oath in the name of the Lord because he is is a secular person. He don't believe, he's not believing in one particular Lord. So he said, I simply affirm on being, he simply chose to affirm. Or it is like give a heightened sense of value, or life a heightened sense of value, typically through the experience of something emotionally uplifting. It is a rich and challenging motion picture that both affirms life and emphasizes its fragility. Affirms life is like emotionally uplifting, the value of life. Affirmative means being positive and agreeing. For example, this answer leered towards the affirmative, which means towards the confirmation of agreement, which means he is agreeing, being positive answer. An affirmative answer means it's a positive response to, it's a favorable response to us. Yes, she gave an affirmative reply for my proposal. Yes, it's an affirmative reply. It is also used to offering emotional support. The family is usually a source of encouragement from which affirmative influences comes, and it is also sometimes relating to or denoting proposed legislation which must receive a parliamentary vote in favor of its favor before it can come into force. Regulations under the bill would be subject to the affirmative procedure, which means the legislation has to work. Affix is nothing but you're fixing, you're sticking it or attach or fastening it. Panels to which he affixes copies of fine old paper. Sometimes fix could be like you're fixing the problem. So basically, when you want to affix something physically, you use the word affix rather than fixing, okay, to be able to be fixed. The strings are fixed to the back of the bridge. Affix is also coming in grammar as prefix and suffix. Like prefix is a word that is added previously to another word to make the meaning different, and suffix is a word added at the end of another word to make the word a different sense of meaning. So prefix and suffix are the affixes in grammar. Shereen, what do you understand when I say afflict? Like someone who is arrested, like you kind of thing, it is related to accused, right? But it sounds like afflict. It's like a conflict. From a conflict, what you get, a kind of depression, or you kind of stress. Yeah, stressed, or you're being oppressed or harassed, or you're being stressed up. So afflict is of a problem or illness, cause pain or trouble too, or it affect you very oppositely, very badly, adversely. His younger child was afflicted with a skin disease. And there is also afflicted is like Jupiter is afflicted by Mars in opposition. Here is an astrology of a celestial body be in a stressful aspect with another celestial body or a point on the ecliptic. Same as like a crippling affliction of the nervous system. It's like the affliction is the pain or harm, or it is like a disease, or poor people in great affliction, or a state of being in pain. Rio, what is the first thing that comes in your mind when I say the word affluence?
Affluence? It's like a kingpin?
Like your accomplice, right? But affluence basically means wealthy, okay, especially of a group or area having a great deal of money. The affluent societies of the Western world, or a sign of a growing affluence. Or for a country, the rivers are considered to be the affluence archaically, but basically affluence is your being wealthy. Shereen, what comes in your mind when I say the word afflux?
It is basically a movie. Sounds like a movie.
No, can you believe it's just the water and air you get when you're watching the movie? Yeah, because it is the flow of water or air. Afflux is very important in medicine because of the blood flow, and in flood, during the flood or during the bridge construction, the afflux should be kept maintained, because it is the blockage in the upstream flow of water, because due to a small deep pit or something, there is a blockage and the flow of water is reduced, which could cause damage because there is no flow of water. So it's in the upstream, so it couldn't flow with a force, and if there is a blockage or due to a pit or something, so this is all about a flux. A flux is in everywhere. It's important in flood. So Sherry, what do you understand when I say afford?
Afford?
Yeah.
Affording to something?
Yeah, afford is basically have a resource such as money or time available or to spare. It was taking up more time than I could afford, or the best that I could afford was a first floor room. So basically it is that, or it is provide or supply an opportunity or facility. The rooftop terrace affords beautiful view. Do you know what is afforestation? What comes in your mind? Something related to forest, right? Afforestation is the establishment of a forest by planting more trees where there is no forest, okay? Why do we plant more trees? Because when we release the oxygen, we take in oxygen and release the carbon dioxide, right? The carbon dioxide is taken by the plants. If there is
and releases the
oxygen to us. If the carbon dioxide is not taken by the plants, it directly goes into the atmosphere, and usually carbon dioxide is opposite to the oxygen, right? So the oxygen has the water vapor present in the atmosphere is being controlled by the carbon dioxide. So basically that affects that makes the, if water vapor is present, the earth would be very cold, like better. There is no water vapor because of the carbon dioxide controlling the water vapor, the earth would become more hot, and also the greenhouse effect is also affected. So basically we don't want to give the carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere, but we want to capture it with the help of plants, right? So this is called carbon capturing, and for that reason we need forest. So when there is no forest, we do afforestation, okay? And there is something called reforestation, where it is the re-establishment of the forest, either naturally or artificially, artificial seeding, or naturally allowing the birds to seed. When I say afraid, the first thing comes is afraid, but afraid is you're not afraid, because afraid means a commotion or an instance of group fighting in a public place that disturbs the peace. He was charged with causing an affray. When I say affright, the first thing comes is frightened, right? Yes, affright is frighten someone. Ghost could never affright her. What do you understand when I say front, affront? Affront is like something in the front. But here it is like someone in front is making an action or remark that causes outrage or offense, because affront means an action or remark that causes outrage or offense. He took his son's decision as a personal affront, okay, and which is like an insult that would provoke anger. She was affronted by his familiarity. When I say affusion, what do you understand? Confusion, right?
Yes, confusion.
But affusion is a method of baptism where water is poured on the head of the person being baptized. Affusion is one of the 4 methods of baptism used by Christians, which also includes total submersion baptism, partial immersion baptism, aspersion or sprinkling baptism, and affusion. When I say a fire, don't you think about fire? Yes, because literally a fire means fire, on fire or burning. The whole mill was afire, which means it's burning. What do you understand when I say afloat?
Floating.
Yes, afloat is floating in water, not sinking. They trod water to keep afloat. Here, trod is the past tense of tread, which means tread is a way of walking. So they will keep walking to keep floating, to keep afloat. And it is also in moving forward direction, destination, okay. And also this is physically you're keeping afloat. And other than this, there is another sense of meaning, out of debt or difficulty, which means you have enough money to pay your debt and continue your business. Professional management will be needed to keep firms afloat. And the next meaning is on board a ship or boat. He hopes to find a second-hand craft and be afloat by the end of the month. So be afloat here means to board a ship or boat. And the general meaning is in general circulation or currently. There are various rumors afloat connected with his disappearance. So there are various rumors currently going on connected with his disappearance. Shereen, what do you understand when I say afoot?
Your foot.
Yes, afoot is your North American, it is on foot, okay. They were forced to go afoot means they were forced to go on foot. It has another meaning that means in preparation or progress, or it is going on. Plans are afoot for a festival. So plans are going on for a festival. When I say aforementioned, what do you understand?
A for sheets.
No, before mentioned or previously mentioned. Yes, you're right, because songs from the aforementioned album, which means the previously mentioned album, aforesaid, aforetime said, or aforenamed, everything means the same.
A fowl.
What did you understand when I said a fowl?
Is it a fowl? A fowl? A fowl means like a bird.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a fowl, it's a fowl, because it's in North America. It means it comes into conflict with, okay. For example, if I say one of her activities, coming late to home, has fallen afoul of her mother's regulations, which means it came into conflict with what her mother had previously. And run afoul of means in nautical, which means related to the ships, collide or become entangled with an obstacle or another vessel. Another ship ran afoul of us, or it is like come into conflict with or go against the murdering, run afoul of human protection legislations or law, which means the murdering go against the legislation of human protection. Foul means offensive to senses, foul odor, or foul air is being impure, or foul crime is really morally very bad. Foul mood is unpleasant or distressing. When I say afraid, I'm scared of, or I'm frightened, I'm afraid of dogs, I'm afraid that I'm afraid of her health, or I'm afraid of that he might get angry. But also I'm afraid is used to for politely telling someone or something that might make them sad, disappointed, or angry. For example, when you cannot do what they want you to do, or when you cannot do, or you do not agree with them, or things haven't been going very well here. I'm afraid that I can't accept this job, or you can say I'm afraid that the doctor you're looking for is unavailable now. So basically it's like a politely, may I help you? Oh yes, but I'm afraid what you're looking for is not available now. So it's usually happens in offices or hotels or in the hospitals. Fresh means in a new or different way. For example, you can say she left the job to start afresh. Basically, it always accompanies with start. So start afresh is like you're over again. You're starting it. We should go back to home and start afresh. Shereen, what comes in your mind when I say aft? Yes, tuft is like a collection of grass or hair or even the thread held together or growing at the base. That is tuft. But tuft is something to do with the sand, land. But aft has got something to do with the air or the water, because aft is at, near, or towards the stern of a ship or tail of an aircraft. Travis made his way aft. So basically, it's like the tail part, the rear part.
We all know what is the meaning of after. Their next most accessible source after book is television. In North America, after is used in specifying a time. It is 10 minutes after 2. In their order of priorities, health comes after housing. When it is after cabin, it is nearer the stern of a ship. Oh, you want to go to the washroom? Okay, after you, it will be me. Okay, oh, please, after you. I'm coming after you. We know after. What is afters? Afters is the sweet course following the main course of a meal. That is the pudding. Okay, there was apple pie for afters. After is used as a prefix, and let's see what are those words. Afterbirth. Afterbirth is the placenta and fetal membranes that are expelled after delivery. So the placenta is called afterbirth. Aftercare is the care of a patient after a stay in hospital or of a person on release from prison. Okay, or it is support or advice offered to a customer following the purchase of a product or service. For example, we have eyelash extension aftercare tips, and there is tattoo aftercare tips, and the dental procedure aftercare tips. And after effect is the consequences, like an effect that follows after the primary action of something. He was suffering the after effects of the drug, like the side effects or the aftershock. An afterlife is in some religions life after death. Most Christians believe in an afterlife. Aftermath. What comes in your mind? It is a math class after your school? No. Aftermath means the consequences or the after effects. For example, the food prices increased in the aftermath of the drought. Here, in the aftermath means as a consequence, in the consequence. Or it is the new grass growing after immediately after mowing or harvesting. Do you know what is an after school activity or after school program? It is happening at the end or after the school activities are over, regular school activities are over. Good afternoon means it's afternoon. Noon is 12 p.m. and afternoon is after 12 o'clock, after like 12:55 till 12:55 you can say good noon. Noon is 12 p.m. So the service starts at 12 noon, which means 12 p.m. in the daytime. So afternoon is from noon to 6 p.m. So early afternoon is from noon to 4 p.m. Mid-afternoon, noon to 3 p.m. And mid-afternoon is like 3 to 4 p.m. and later afternoon is like 4 to 6 p.m. After pain is the pain you get after a process. For example, the after pains of a tooth extraction subside with the proper medications. And morning after is, I'm still in my morning after, is like the hangover or the experience of a regret you had in the previous day or previous night. You're still not over that. How will I get rid of this morning after? It is like a depressed feeling of regret or depressed feeling from the previous day or previous night. So that's a sentence you can make with the morning after. And it is also some kind of inappropriate pill available in the medical store. And we all know what is the meaning of afterwards. So let's see that afterwards. Day after means the next day. Day after tomorrow is the day after tomorrow, day before yesterday. These are the things we regularly use. So aftershave is an astringent scented lotion that is used on the skin after shave. Astringent is an acidic tasted or smelling or little bitter kind of a liquid, a substance that reduces the bleeding from any kind of abrasions on skin, or it is used in the cosmetics for get rid of the oily skin. And next is afterthoughts. Afterthoughts is something that is thought of or added later. As an afterthought, she said thank you.